News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Missoula authorities dealing with two separate reports of sexual assault. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Monday, September 14th, 2014. Right now, we do have a mostly clear sky. It's a little bit warmer than it has been. It's 52 degrees in Missoula right now. Our newscast this morning sponsored by Transport Equipment, your headquarters for RV service, maintenance, and repair. Transport Equipment just south of the Y next to the Axemen. Call 541-9097. Early Saturday morning, about 3:30, Missoula police responded to a report of a burglary on South 6th Street East. A resident there reported an unknown suspect had entered the home and, quote, raped, end quote, her roommate, an adult female. Officers searched the residence and surrounding area, but the suspect was not located. Suspect is described as a white male with thin build, wearing a nicer athletic warm-up pants that are gray or black in color, as well as a top that may have been a zipped sports jacket. Could have a letter P on the pocket. The victim of the assault stated the suspect warned her he had a knife. Anyone with information that could help solve this crime is asked to contact the Missoula Police Department, 552-6300, or call Crime Stoppers at 721-4444. Last Thursday, Missoula police filed charges against a U of M student identified as Fazlidin Sharapov on suspicion of misdemeanor sexual assault. Although the charges were recently filed, the alleged crime was reported 2 weeks ago. According to UM spokeswoman Peggy Kaur, the delay was due to an investigation by the Missoula police.
We have had a report of a sexual assault, although this was from 2 weeks ago and involving two students. The UM police at the time found the victim and then went through their protocols, assuring her, safe care, and transferred the legal case and the investigating immediately over to Missoula City Police.
Kaur said procedural changes at UM are ensuring that the victim has received proper medical care.
Protocols that the law enforcement agencies across the Missoula community have in place. UM police work very closely as needed with city police. We know that the student who's reported the assault has been afforded access to all the information available and health care needed about facilities and help on campus as well as in the Missoula community. So I think it's worked well from a law enforcement and from a care for anyone involved stance.
According to Missoula Police Sergeant Jim Clowder, Sharapov may face up to 5 years in prison. Authorities have taken his passport to prevent any attempts of leaving the country. 3 people have died, 2 others injured in a head-on crash between a pickup truck and a semi-trailer in north-central Montana. The Great Falls Tribune reports the accident occurred about 8 o'clock Saturday morning on Highway 223 near Fort Benton. Montana Highway Patrol Trooper Chris Bakers, as the truck driver, said the GMCCR pickup crossed over into his northbound lane. The Baker said the occupants of the pickup appeared to be teenage boys. A 4th person in the truck and the truck driver were taken to area hospitals. The truck driver had non-life-threatening injuries. Fort Benton is about 40 miles northeast of Great Falls. 14 years ago on September 11th, Islamic militants inflicted the worst terrorist attack ever on American soil. Susan Campbell-Renault, president of the United Veterans Council, has vowed to keep the memory of those who died in the attack alive. Speakers included now retired Missoula firefighter Tom Ziegler, who was scheduled for hazmat training in New York City when the attacks occurred.
The week of September 11th, I had some tonsil stuff done, and so I wasn't able to go that week, and then this hit. If the crew that I always work with in that, they were lost that day, I would have been there. I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
Ziegler said he returned to New York a week later and assisted in rescue and recovery operations at Ground Zero for several weeks.
People just don't understand what the scene was like. The towers collapsed. They don't understand that the piles were higher than these trees, and we were climbing in them. And out of all my friends I lost, I recovered about 8.
Ziegler told KGVO News America needs to keep the memory of 9/11 alive in its collective heart and mind because, in his words, we're going to run into it again one of these days. Something is going to happen, end quote. A Whitefish man who skipped his sentencing hearing for shooting at 2 motorcyclists last summer near Columbia Falls has been arrested in California. Flathead County Sheriff Chuck Curry told the Flathead Beacon newspaper Christopher Shoa was arrested for bail jumping at Vacaville, California, September 2nd, and will be returned to Montana. Ballots for the Ward 4 City Council primary election are due no later than 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Elections Administrator Rebecca Connors has more.
Residents in the Ward 2 area that are registered to vote should have received a ballot in late August, and we mailed out about 4,700 ballots. We're getting close to 1,300 back.
Connors said before Election Day, voters may return their ballot by mail or in person by visiting the county courthouse or the election center at the fairgrounds.
Hellgate School and Lowell School are drop-off locations that you can take a ballot. We also have the courthouse and the fairgrounds are drop locations as well, and they're open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Election Day, Tuesday.
Ward 4 is the only one to hold a primary since 4 people are on the ballot. Officials are investigating the death of a 29-year-old woman being held in the Flathead County Jail. The sheriff's office says Iberica Paulino of Kalispell was found dead in her cell last Thursday morning. She was being held on charges of criminal possession of dangerous drugs, criminal contempt, and criminal trespass. An autopsy was planned at the State Crime Lab here in Missoula. Flathead County Sheriff Chuck Curry said Thursday the woman's death was most likely due to natural causes. A campus celebration to officially rename the University of Montana Law School took place Friday in the law building's Garlington Lawn and Robinson Plaza. John Mudd, Director of Development and Alumni Relations for the Blewett School of Law, said the renaming is in response to the many generous gifts and years of support by the Blewett family.
They gave money for a brand new courtroom in the 1990s when we needed that. They helped spearhead the building campaign, and Xander and Andy and his mother Fern made a major gift on that to build a new law review office. A couple of years ago, they gave us $800,000 to help with scholarships, and then rounded that up essentially with another $9.2 million for $10 million.
Mudd said a gift of that magnitude is acknowledged by renaming the law school the Alexander Blewett III School of Law.
In acknowledgement of that naming gift of that level, the law school and the university decided to recognize them by naming the school after them, as the university's done with some other schools here on campus.
Mudd said the Blewett gift allows the law school to create an endowed chair in consumer law and protection with endowed support for programs in consumer protection and access to justice. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly cloudy skies today with our high temperatures in the low 70s. A chance of showers and isolated thunder this evening. Lows will drop into the mid-40s. Rain likely Tuesday with highs in the 50s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.